Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2014 iCreate Mobility Challenge Kickoff. This kickoff is organized by Center for Instructional Technology, Computer Center, NUS Living Labs, NUS Enterprise, and industry partners. This session will walk you through the details and answer questions you might have with regards to iCreate Mobility Challenge 2014. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you Mr. Ravi, Director for Center for Instructional Technology, to give the opening address.
Right. Thank you. Well, again, good morning, students, colleagues, friends, and my guests. And as Hui has mentioned, my name is Ravi. I'm the Director for the Center for Instructional Technology. We are one of the co-organizers for iCreate 2014, and this is a kickoff launch. So from today onwards, the competition begins proper, and you'll have all the support coming from CIT, Computer Center, Living Labs, and of course NUS Enterprise. So my presentation today is just give you 5 minutes of what happened in the past iCreate, some statistics, and show you some of the success stories, hopefully, that has happened in iCreate 2013 and 2012, and have a kind of a dialogue with you all, okay? So, of course, you all are here. You know the mobile is very important. It's the next wave, right? In the desktop, in the technology area, in the computing area, you have desktops, you have laptops, and of course, now mobile. And mobile is now more or less taking over the printing press, taking over the TVs, taking over the radios, and everything. So this is, I took it from a slide, the 7th mass media. It's trying to stress that this is the next big thing in mobile. And you all are correct in coming forward for this iCreate, because this is one area that you need to focus on if you're going to go there. It's going to help you a lot in your careers as you move on outside NUS. Okay, so what's the reason why we're doing iCreate? We want at NUS to create a mobile ecosystem, something where we can support the students, support our faculty in developing mobile applications for students by students. Okay? We don't want it to be driven top-down. We don't want it to be driven by Computer Center. We don't want it to be driven by CIT, where CIT, Computer Center, and the administration decides what are the mobile apps needed for you. We want you to decide for yourself what kind of applications, what kind of mobile applications are needed for you, and then from there, publish it, and let other students start using it. So that is the main reason why we are doing this iCreate. Trying to create an ecosystem, a support system that can help you create, develop interesting, exciting, innovative mobile apps for yourself and, of course, for your fellow students. So it's got to be driven, we want it to be driven bottom-up and not top-down. And the great opportunity here is that you got 30,000 students here, plus another 5,000 faculty, a lot of visitors coming to NUS. You can use NUS as a test bed for your ideas, right? You'll never get the chance outside. Outside, you just don't have time when you're working to get all this kind of support needed. So when you create your mobile app, whether it's on the iOS, on the Android, or Windows, you can use NUS as a test bed, and we can help you do that. So once you put your app on our systems, 30,000 students on board. Okay, testing your app, telling you what is good, what is bad. Okay, you'll have guests coming in, you'll have outsiders coming in, you'll have faculty coming in and trying to use your app. And the more you see your app being used, the more excited you get, and you start improving on it. And then from there, take it on further. So this is a great environment to test a lot of your applications when you have the time to do it. Right? Once you go outside NUS, you will have a lot of your working life, being taken up by the working life. You won't be in a position like myself where I can delegate a lot of my stuff to my staff, and then do a lot of my own personal things also. Okay, so use this opportunity a lot for iCreate. So, and then of course, as your app gets developed more and more, as it gets used more and more, as it is improved more and more by yourself, you'll get lots of opportunities for recognition and rewards. Today we have invited NUS Enterprise to come on board. They're going to help us, or help you. If your app is successful, if you want to go one step further, commercialize it, take it to a bigger place outside NUS, they can come and help you to tell you what are the steps needed to commercialize the app, to develop a business plan and so on. We didn't have that before in the iCreate. This time we brought them in. They've come forward to explain what's the processes or steps needed to commercialize your app if it is successful. So very important, of course, is when you get into the mobile area. One of the big things that companies are looking at is mobile developers. Very, very much in short supply. Very, very much in short supply. If you are in this area, you got experience, this is one big plus point in your resume. Okay? I can already tell you in the polytechnics, there are classes going on every year just to build up the mobile development expertise in Singapore. This is one area that a lot of opportunities are there too in your career. So if you're in this area, you pick up the skills at NUS, your resume really stands out among the rest. Okay? This is one area that all employees will look at. So again, iCreate is an opportunity for you to do that. This is statistics from the past iCreates. 2011, we had about 65 teams, then 76 teams. Last year it was 59 teams. This year I'm not very sure what the numbers are yet. And it was averaging about 174 students, about 4 per team. Okay, 4 per team. Generally, the number of apps are about 18 to 20. A lot of teams tend to drop out after some time because they've got work commitments. But generally, the apps are quite good, 20 to 25 apps, and they're very, very innovative, very interesting to use. Okay, but so these are the statistics of the past iCreate 2011, 2012, 2013. You notice Ivy League related from 12, the first year 2011 has come down to 3. We purposely made it that way. We don't want everybody to create IVLE apps. We want them to go outside IVLE. So this year, the 2011 and 2012, we were always telling students, only create the mobile apps for NUS, right? You can't do anything else. We won't accept apps from non-NUS, we won't accept non-NUS apps. But this year, we've opened it up. We are allowing you to create apps anywhere, whether it is for Singapore, food-related, time-related, travel-related in Singapore and NUS. It's up to you. We want to encourage you to think outside NUS, and then improve the environment within Singapore. So the flexibility is here in this year. This year you can decide to develop your mobile apps within NUS or outside NUS. Up to you. Last year we did this. Last year was this app called the iFoodie app. This app was done by some students, and it was very successfully received. So much so that Computer Center took it on and has published it on its own NUS mobile website and supported it from then onwards. We also start paying the students to maintain it for us. So you got opportunities there. If your app is so successful, well used by students, well reviewed by students, there are opportunities for you to be paid by NUS, and then you get the privilege of having it on the official NUS mobile site and supported by the university, and of course through you, by paying you also to support it. We also have students who have done their own IVLE mobile apps, but published it on their own, which we encourage. So this is a student who has done it called Mod IVLE, created his own app. A lot of students love it. They can't stand the official IVLE app done by us, but they prefer this app because it's a lot less cluttered, nice, clean interface, beautifully designed, less information, but well received by students. We encourage that because we want to encourage this kind of innovation coming up. And the more students access this, the better for us because they're also giving us a lot of feedback. So this is done by a student, published on 2 platforms. And last year, these were the winners. They won the iCreate Challenge 2013, IVLE Metro, done on Windows platform. I think it was a group of about 6 to 7 students. The examiners who examined the app were very impressed by the features of this app, done on the Windows mobile. So this was officially supported now by a CIT, the only Windows-based mobile IVLE app that's running now. Okay, so these are some of the examples done by students, but you are free to, of course, decide what is best for you, okay? You can decide on IVLE, non-IVLE, or anything else outside NUS. So, my last slide, took this from the iOS website. Of course, before you start on your app, of course, have a very concrete, concise definition of your app. What is it you really want to do? You know, who is your target audience? Who is the target audience that you want to achieve? List all the features that you want on your app. Okay, all the features you want on the app. Look at the target audience. Is it NUS students? If it's NUS students, what do they want? Or is it non-NUS students? You've got to decide. From there, of course, refine it further, the features. And then redefine the definition statement of your application. And from there, you'll more or less have a one-line statement of your application. From there, you can start building and developing your app. So this is what I normally do. And on the right, I'll give you an example. Have anybody heard of Flappy Bird? Got it? You'll have heard of it, right? My 5-year-old daughter took 30 seconds to download it and start playing with it. No user guides, no nothing. So no mobile users got no time for user guides. No time. They immediately expect the app to use it as the way they want to use it. So remember that immediately the graphics a bit primitive, if you notice. Even I got addicted to it, right? You start playing up and down. The graphics a bit primitive, but it is so easy to use. You start wanting to go to the higher level. And of course, so I'm saying these are things that you need to look at. Don't make it too complicated. Make the UIs easy to use. You should be able to go. Now, is developing a mobile app hard or difficult? What do you think? Do you think it's hard to do? Easy to do? Not sure. This is an app I developed myself. Okay, I'm the director of the center. So like I told you, I keep delegating my job. So you have time. But it's an app for the hospitals. I took only 2 months to do it. So my point is that if I can do it, you guys can do it. It is so straightforward. I always thought looking at a mobile app, very, very difficult to do. You know, how do they do it in all that phone? It's so difficult to do. How do they publish it in the first place? But after going to the internet, which has tons and tons of information, you can pick it up very fast. Any problems you have, go to the net, search for it, you'll get the answer out. So immediately, this app is on the phone, used by one of the staff at NUH. So my point is that it's very, very straightforward to do. And you can do it, I'm sure. All right? With that, I'd like to thank the organizers for this competition. And thank you and good luck, okay, in this competition. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Okay, now I would like to invite. Okay, now I would like to invite our next speaker, Mr. David Sim from iFoodie. He will be sharing his iCreate experience with you. Mr. David?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, right? Okay. Yeah, so I think as Mr. Chandran has previously said, right, about NUS Foodie, basically the iFoodie team. I was also one of the contestants. Okay. Okay, okay, thanks. So my name is David, and I'm also previously a contestant, just like you guys lah. So as you know, so I'm here to share my experience. So just explain to you, give you a holistic view of what I actually went through lah. So this is actually my team. You can see my backside here. All right. So how many of you are from MTech? Oh, okay, good. A lot of familiar faces. So I actually want the senior there lah now. Basically, we actually participated in this iCreate in 2012. Actually, it's 2 years ago. So during back then, we were also doing a project about iOS project. So we decided to continue, and we decided to further develop and participate in the iCreate competition. So the thing here is that actually we were also thinking, during the time this competition, there are several platforms. We were actually thinking what we wanted to use, like Android, iOS, or even during that time there was BlackBerry, which was involved. So we were thinking what we should use. But before that, actually, we were brainstorming also lah. Like we were actually thinking, because the criteria needs us to actually think about the idea for NUS students. So we were trying to figure out what were actually the key problems that we do encounter. And why we actually decided to go to iFoodie is because we realized that there's actually a huge gap for new students who actually want to find food outlets, especially when I just came here as a first year, right? I don't know where to find the popular canteens, which are the secret outlets for nice food and all that. So we finally brainstormed and decided to come out with this iFoodie application. From then on, we decided to move on with iOS because we realized that we were more proficient in iOS. And Android, we do have experience in Android at the same time, but we realized that since we were previously doing on iOS application, we decided to continue further develop our iOS application as well. So you can see, actually it's 4 of us. So the camera guy is also one team member. Total, there was 4 of us, and these are my 2 friends as well. Also in MTech course as well, during that point of time. So you can see we're actually in our lab doing our programming and stuff. Besides that, you can see, is there a pointer? Yeah, we also prepared some flyers actually, so that we can actually engage. Actually, what we actually did, we also engaged the NUS students to find out more problems that they do have as well before we actually decide on the key problems. All right. So we decided to continue. I mean, once after that, we submitted applications and everything. And this is actually the day of our presentation. So you can see here, 2012. All right. Then we pretty much think about the concept, how we wanted to create the application. We also went through the UI design. We also came up with prototypes. And there's a lot of revision that we went through to improve the whole application to provide a better experience, all right, for the students mainly. And actually, why we decided to come up with this idea is because we don't just want to participate for the competition's sake, or for the challenge sake, but we also wanted to realize that this can really be meaningful for the students as well. All right. But okay, actually we use Prezi as well. Oh yeah, at the same time we also created video. It's one of the criteria, right, for the iCreate itself. So during this thing, during the whole process, we try to create the flow lah, basically, and make sure that NUS Foodie is actually good for students to use. You can see the video. I think it's uploaded in YouTube. So, in fact, I think iCreate there's past resources, so you can actually view. There's some archive lah, based on the past results and the submissions. Okay, after the presentation, this is actually the event day itself where the judges this is before the last presentation from the awards and the results where it comes. So each of the teams is actually given a booth where you can set up your application, and basically, I think this is one of the key takeaway for this challenge is that when you set up a booth, they will actually invite the people from NUS to come down and take a look at your application and see how useful they are, and they will also give you votes. Basically, there's this voting criteria during this iCreate challenge. where it actually takes up a certain percentage of the score. All right, so we did a few designs of the flyers and basically to showcase our application. All right, you can see this is my friend. He's wearing some apron, basically. We try to highlight the value of our product as well. So the thing here is that we actually met a lot of people from NUS, all right? And I think this is also a very good experience to actually engage with people to find out, get feedbacks from them and comments so that we can actually further improve the application. I find that creating this application is also, it's a very interesting experience because you get to learn what the customers feel and also how we can actually improve our programming skills as well, basically in the mobile development. Right, okay, just before that, okay. So after that, after we finished our booth, everything, it was the award presentation. We, unfortunately, okay, we didn't get into the top prize or top 3 or anything. Actually, we were quite disappointed actually, but it didn't end there actually. Fortunately, we actually got the most popular award, okay, because of the high number of votes that people voted for our application. Then we got a prize for that as well. But then it didn't really end there. Actually, we thought that, okay, maybe we will still continue to launch this thing after that. All right. Then I think after that, fortunately, the NUS Living Lab, okay, I think Mr. Junius and under Prof. Wong as well, they actually approached us because they actually have interest in publishing our application. So we decided to work with them, all right? We continue to work with them and further develop the application. In fact, they also have other technologies such as the crowd density, which was actually integrated into our application. And now actually our application is already launched, I think last year. Yeah. So this was actually throughout the 2-year space, right? Then after our application was launched, okay, we were actually interviewed by MediaCorp. I think it's Channel 8, I think. Yeah. Who is this lady's name? I can't remember. Okay, but never mind. We were actually interviewed by the MediaCorp to actually find out, basically to promote our application, basically, to cover our application, what the innovative part about it. So we were very happy to do that. And we actually showcased this application. Actually, it was, when was it? I think last year, right? During the Technovate. Innovest, yeah. Innovest, organized by NUS as well. So what I'm trying to tell you is that this whole experience, okay, actually it extends beyond the challenge itself. And I can tell you it's a very enriching thing that me and my team has actually gone through, all right? Although there are some changes across the app that we do make, but we find that this ultimately still brings very good value to the community. And in fact, actually, one of our key challenges that we do encounter was previously this iCreate Mobility Challenge is actually limited to just the NUS community. And I find that it's good that this year the competition is open, all right? You can come up with any ideas. The most important thing is about how you can make this app useful, all right, for your users and for the public as well. I think this is one of the most important things. So do take this into consideration because you may not be able to get the top 3, okay, based on the judges' comment or the marks, but at the end of the day, we still get the result, all right? And I think just yesterday, the provost has also mentioned, I think it's in Chinese News Asia as well, there's a news about coming in the grade free semester for new students, right? He did mention one thing. I think it's one of the key learning points here. Don't just study for the sake of studying, but learn for the sake of learning. All right, treat this iCreate as a learning experience and also a platform where you can talk to the people, the NUS staff as well, so that we can learn more things through this experience. All right, I think, yeah, this is me showcasing the app. Okay, so it's a wonderful thing that I do go through. So I hope that you guys can continue to develop more new ideas and use your creative juice with this application. Right? Okay. Thank you. So.
Thank you, David. Okay, up next, I would like to invite Mr. Oliver Wee from Digital Synthesis, who will also be sharing his iCreate experience with you. Oliver?
Okay, hi, good morning everyone. It's very nice to see all of you today. So like the previous speaker before me, I was also a participant in iCreate. And my year was the one that you saw like very large number of participants. It's 2012. At that time, there was like at least 30 plus teams. And your competition was extremely stiff. And so after all this, it's quite fast that 2 years has passed. And I could say that iCreate was not really the end of a journey after you finish the competition, but rather the beginning of my next 2 years of more interaction and more app development and more website development. So before I start, just think about it as if you're not technically skilled. Actually, how many of you are not technically skilled? That means you're not computing or not engineering or what? Just a show of hands. So most of you here have got app experience. Okay, then you're extremely well prepared compared to my batch. Because my batch, at least half of us did not know how to code at all. Okay, so this is my menu for today, just a few things about my experience. And okay, so firstly we talk about, why join iCreate? So firstly, if you're not a seasoned developer, when I say seasoned means you have not been developing apps day in, day out, it's like a hobby for you. It's a very good place to learn what are some of the best practices when it comes to applications, what are some of the processes and the fundamentals behind app design. Because one thing that web tutorials don't really teach you a lot is how do you design a good app? You have like 10 hot tips for like how to optimize your app, what are the nice UX experiences can do, but what is the underlying principle? They don't really teach you how. And some of these things you can learn in advanced courses in computing school, but generally not very open to the public. So now that this material is available to you, on top of that you have mentoring from more senior staff and past participants like myself. This will all help you to learn stuff that you cannot find online, right? If not, why you come here, right? If you can learn everything online. Then next thing is access. So one of the things that CIT really likes to do is they like to say, okay, let's say you have a device. We can loan you out a device, which is what happened in my year. And then they allow you to do testing on it. But of course, the number of devices that is available is probably only 1 or 2. So during my time, everybody is fighting for a slot to take the Samsung device or the iOS device for testing, assuming that you only own an iOS or Samsung, and not like some people very privileged, you have both. Okay, so you still have to loan out a device. Or others, you can always share among yourselves when you want to test devices. And this is important when you do development, especially on Android, because when you use your Eclipse, things like a virtual machine, it may run very well on your PC because your PC has got very good specs, right, compared to a phone. Like you have 2 gig RAM, 4 gig RAM. So you run the program, you follow all the tutorials, it runs without a hitch. But the moment you download into your phone, your friends like Samsung or Sony Ericsson or some other phone, then suddenly they'll complain to you about performance errors, which is what happened with my app. I asked like 10 of my friends to download, and most of them can't even get past the login screen because there was some stack buffer at the back. So it's always important to test on actual devices, which is very user-friendly. They have USB connectivity, this and that. So that's one good thing too. Okay, another thing is to showcase. Showcase in the sense that it's always good to share your ideas with the world. Like you can like go improve, get people to proofread your idea, the idea behind a proposal before even start to code. And after you code, see how viable your idea is, whether you need to make amendments, this and that. Because getting outside opinion is very good because you're not the best judge, right? whether your app survives in the industry or not is largely dependent on how your users perceive it, how the investors perceive it, and whether it has a solid business model or not. So if you want to take it in a more serious level, you want to commercialize it, outsider input is extremely important, especially from the relevant parties. And CIT has done a good job in tying in those relevant industry players who will tell you how likely is your ad supposed to succeed, or where do you need to come in to close the gap so that you are able to be more successful. And if you have to do this on your own, you need to do a lot of networking, you need to do a lot of guanxi, this and that, and they have already done so for you. So this is quite a good opportunity for that. And of course, networking, like all of us here, in some way or another, are interested in this, in application development. Some of us may have ideas but are lacking in technical skills. Some of us have very good technical skill but are lacking in ideas. And this is a place where you can meet each other, you can talk to each other, ask each other for questions, ask each other, test each other's application, this and that. So instead of thinking of it as, well, I want to win the first prize, think of it as, I want it to be ample and learning experience. Because at the end of the day, like, there can only be 3 winners, right? But all of you here will win in some way because you have already advanced up another level of knowledge. All right? So don't be too hung out on that. And I myself, I didn't win either. In fact, for me, I had to pull out early because of my exams. I was taking special exam at that time. But all the stuff that I learned so far still stays with me today. So don't worry about it. Okay, so for those of you who are new, I just want to go through like what's the rough kind of journey you'll be taking. I know some of you may be taking different kinds of development techniques like Scrum methodology, or you want to do rapid prototyping, this and that. But the basics is still that you need to come up with an idea. You need to have some kind of idea creation. What kind of value do you want to create for your users? Then before you even start coding, you must be very well aware of what is your technical knowledge. How comfortable are you, let's say, with iOS or Android? Or if you don't know any of these, Objective-C or Java, you can even do HTML or CSS JavaScript. That means do a HTML5 app, which I'll be giving a workshop in the coming few weeks. So you must understand where is your technical limit, okay, and where is the technical limit of your team. Because 1 month is quite a short time, you'll basically be working around the clock all the time. So you must know what are your own personal commitments, what is the technical commitments, this and that. And planning is a very overlooked aspect of the development process. Like most of my friends, when we develop apps, maybe we stroll one part and then say, hey, I got some idea, I want to try it out. Then immediately go into the coding, so that. But when you want to do maintenance on your code, when you want to pitch to investors, then suddenly you start to scramble, ask yourself, what is the best selling feature of this? How is it useful to users? So these are questions you ask yourself at the beginning and not at the end. And you will help greatly for your presentation in iCreate when you think of all these questions before and not after. Then, okay, for the coding part, those of you who know the code, you'll know how to handle this on your own. Those of you who don't, I highly suggest you attend the workshops or go and find some online tutorials to boost up your knowledge. Deployment, like I mentioned before, always deploy an actual device to see how it really works. Because virtual environment is always very ideal. It's like when you're running a computer, you have the best, most ideal, which is a clean device. No other apps running on it. It's just your app, which is not really the reality. In reality, is people download apps, they have other things on it also, and they may change the way your software interacts with the phone in different ways. You will not anticipate until you really install on the phone. So it's important. Then testing, make sure you get like a flow of things for a user to do. Like if your user needs to make an order, what are the specific steps they need to do, and make sure all the users go through the same steps and see what kind of different results you get at the end. Okay, so this is just a rough wrap up. Okay, challenges. Okay, one of the greatest challenges I had was I was not very familiar with Eclipse. So I would say the number one problem is when you look at an error and you don't understand what the error is trying to tell you. Okay, so this is where the experience of your mentors come in. Because some people, they love Eclipse, they have been doing Java development for many times. When you give them an error, they can roughly tell you where is the problem. But of course, part of the fun is figuring out on your own. Right? You don't have to ask anybody, so you go and tinker with it until you figure out about it. The second challenge is time. Like any exam or competition, time is always your enemy. And also in life, you don't live forever, right? So you need to be able to partition your time to see how much time to coding, how much time to go out with your friends and that, and you must be very prepared during the last 2 weeks that you'll be pulling all-nighters all the time just to make sure your code works right. Because a lot of things goes wrong the few days before your app submission. So you got to be mentally prepared for that. Another challenge was I was working solo at that time. So not like my predecessor, he had a team of 4, I work on my own. I had a problem of burnout. That means you basically work so hard until you don't feel like working anymore. Like you work to the point where you ask yourself, why am I doing this? And then there's a lot of self-depreciation. So my advice to you is don't go to that point. I mean, in the end, I still managed to submit my app, okay? But beyond that, I was so exhausted, I cannot do much after that. So if you're working alone, I strongly advise you against it, unless you're like Mark Zuckerberg, this kind of genius, then okay, go ahead. But otherwise, please draw on the wisdom of your peers, to help you along the app. Even if they're not technically skilled, they could help you in some small way, like maybe your business page or your marketing, or even just testing ideas. Don't do it on your own, right? It's very taxing. What other challenges? Yes, another challenge I had was platform. At that time, I was doing Android, so ICS4 just came out, Ice Cream Sandwich. And Ice Cream Sandwich had a very nice feature in which you can have different views in the phone. So previously, Android is not very good at multitasking. Those Android users will know. You open one app, they open another app, they open another app, and suddenly you want to go back to the third app. It's just not there anymore. Like, it's just queued off. So Android has got a habit of doing that. For ICS4, they rectify it by doing some kind of pseudo parallel running for you. But here's the issue. How many phones are actually on ICS4? At that point in time, 2 years ago, not many, right? Most of them are still stuck on 3 and 2. Correct. So if you want to develop an app that is really for everyone, then you must start from 2 onwards, right, and capture the lion's share of the market. But if you want to make your life easier, you want to code ICS4, which means that you close out a lot of other competitors. So 2 years on, I would say ICS4 is much more prevalent now than previously. So you got to consider what are the kind of features they want to implement in your current platform, in the current version that you're conforming to, and how will it interact with other versions. Okay? Because if the app cannot be uniformly distributed, then it kind of puts a dent onto how many users can use it. And that is why nowadays HTML5 is very important, very popular, because regardless of platform, unless you're losing certain things like camera, accelerometer, any hardware-specific things like geolocation, context, you can always export out into HTML5 format. Then you don't have to worry. Then the other thing to worry about is your aspect ratio. iPad got different ratio, Samsung got different kind of screen. So how does your layout, your display go into, and how it will look on different screens. And font is also very important. Like one of the biggest problems I had was trying to find the right font. You'll find a lot of time, but you need to find something that suits your style and is able to display on many devices also. Okay, so takeaways. One of the best takeaways was, that really was a start of me learning programming seriously. Because before that, I was just developing websites on and off. But after I did an app and I really go through the whole app development process, you start to ask yourself, you really like this a lot. You like tinkering with stuff, and you can see how the thing interacts, and you really enjoy it when people use your app and they tell you it's good, this and that. So at the time, I mean, my idea was quite similar to his. His was like trying to find food for freshmen, right? Mine was, I hated the queue at Engine. It's like Engine forever had a very long queue. So I wanted to create an app where you can order food from the store. So at that point in time, I actually tried to hook up with some of the vendors to use the app, but most of them, as you know, is either a bit elderly or I would say not very articulate, but you understand the demographic of people who actually serve you food. So they are not so keen to use a device that they're not very familiar with. I think the most progressive one is probably those kind of small red cylinder they give you, right? Then you'll beep when you go and get your food. I think that's about the limit that they'll do for you. So for my experience, it's like if you want them to do a phone app, this and that, you consider that not all of them got smartphones. Okay, some of them are still using 2G phones. And even if you give them a smartphone to use, they might find that it's a hassle to learn and to order, and it's a different way of doing things. So for those who are doing F&B, this is a very big consideration. How are you going to break the resistance to using your technology, right? Because every time you try something new, there is some resistance to it. So whatever value and benefit you want to bring to them must beat that by a lot. Then they will try your stuff. Okay, so you must always bear that in mind. Before you even start coding any kind of F&B app, you must understand what kind of benefit can you bring so that it will break through that wall of resistance as to why they want to use your app. Okay? Otherwise, don't really go there. Okay? Then, so after all this, where do we go from here? So actually, the thing is, you can go anywhere. Each one of us joins competitions for our own reasons, right? But all of us are here in a common space because you want to learn something, you want to have some kind of experience. And your experience is what you make of it. Okay? I like this picture a lot because it's like a picture of a boy who is dreaming. Then he looks at the universe, all the stars, the moons, and this and that. So I would say that this is your creativity, this is your imagination. So your imagination is something that is unique to you, right? One thing investors like to ask you is like, what is your unique selling proposition? What is so special about you that you want to buy your app, invest in you, or even when you go out to work, boss interview you, what is special about you, why should we hire you, right? So this is why, you show your own personal flavor in the way you do things, and then you become a much more marketable person as a whole, okay? But of course, it will be misleading to say that after this competition, you'll be an expert app developer and you can push out stores, things onto Play Store, things onto Apple Store, and then make tons of money. No, that will be misleading. I'd rather say that this is just the entry for you to learn more, okay, and to have fun along the way. Whether you actually become an expert app developer in the future, nobody knows, right? It's up to you. But this is a very good place to start, okay? So thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. Let's now welcome Elise, Assistant Manager from NUS Enterprise. She will show you how you can transform your ideas into business with NUS Enterprise.
Hello. Hi, I'm Elise. I'm representing NUS Enterprise from the Entrepreneurship Support Division. So first of all, I want to thank the Center for Instructional Technology for inviting NUS Enterprise to be part of this competition. And also I want to thank Hui Fen and Sabrina. They are from People's Association. They are here to support the community element of this competition. So before I begin, can I know who among you have already started to apply for the competition? Can you hands up? None of you apply, and you're just here for the free lunch? Okay, who is year 1 and 2 here? Okay, that's good. Year 3? Year 4? No year 4 at all? Oh, year 4. Okay, kudos to the year 4, When I'm in year 4, I actually wouldn't be considering this competition. I'll be like looking at how do I maximize my score? How do I get the next job, after my graduation? So I really salute you for that. Okay, so I'm here to actually tell you, where can you go from here? This is what Oliver just mentioned, right? Okay, so hold on. Yeah. So when I was someone like you, sitting at a seminar hall, I really, really wish that I have taken up programming, because who knows, I could have created the next Google or Facebook by now. Okay, but of course it's not so easy, right? So jokes aside, okay, I challenge you, okay, if you're participating in this competition, to look beyond this competition, because who knows, you may be the next Google or Facebook. You may not be somewhere up there, but you have seen what David and Oliver talked about just now. You can be someone who has created a useful app, and then you may just launch it on Facebook, on the App Store, on Google Play. Okay, you may make money out of your app. Okay, and who knows? Yeah. So you must be wondering why just now I asked you which year you are from. Okay, like I'm not just trying to find out your age, but actually what I'm trying to show you is what NUS Enterprise can offer you at every level of your school journey. Okay, so NUS Enterprise has actually gone through quite a few years of nurturing entrepreneurs. We have 400, I believe we have 400 over companies right now. And some of you may know that Zopin has been recently acquired for 30 million by Zendesk. Okay, Zendesk is a company from the US. So I wonder, one of you out there, do you have the ambition to create an app, to create a product that can eventually, you can work on it and then get acquired or even IPO? Okay, is there someone like you out there? Okay, so I'm also going to tell you more about NUS Enterprise. So basically, I'm not sure how many of you have heard of this department, but we're comprising of 3 different divisions. Okay, we have the entrepreneurial education, we have industry engagement and partnership, and last but not least, where I'm from, the entrepreneurship support division. So I'm going to talk about the first one first. Okay, so I think some of you have already heard of the NOC program as well as the iLead program. So just now I was asking you, who are year 1 and year 2 over here, because through this program, okay, you can discover the entrepreneur in you. So what you're going to do is, in the 7 different colleges around the world, you get to actually study at one of the prestigious university, and at the same time, okay, learn the ropes of starting a business. And this is done by actually interning at one of the high-tech startups that we have in the city over there. So I was also personally a graduate of the NOC program. I went to what we call the Bio Valley in Philadelphia. So I studied at University of Pennsylvania, and I interned at a social media company. Yeah, so through the whole experience, it really transformed me. And then it always reminded me to be an entrepreneur one day. So, and one good news for you, if you're joining this competition, and you make it to be one of the top 10 teams, you actually have a special direct entry to our second round of the NOC interview. Yeah, so do remember that, while you are programming your apps, okay, that's one alternative that you could have to bring your app further. Okay, so these are the 7 colleges that I briefly mentioned. The newest one is actually in New York. Yeah, so you can find out more via our website. Okay, so I have just covered about the educational part. Okay, where I'm from, I'm actually from the Entrepreneurial Support Division. So for us, we are in the business of helping you to nurture you as an entrepreneur. So what do we mean? Like perhaps if you take your app, after you launch it on the App Store, you start to make some money. Okay, and then you may think like, oh, what if I make a business out of it? So actually, David also, he's working with us to see how he can build his business and take it off. Okay, so what do you have? We basically offer you 3 options. Okay, for getting your funding for your product. The first one with the practicum grants. I think some of you may have already applied for it. It's 10K and it's only for students. Okay. And if you actually work beyond that, you have used 10K to do some kind of proof of concept, you can then actually venture onwards to apply for the ACE or the iGEM grants. So this is actually 50K. This will help you to develop the product further, hire people, like-minded like you, or start to do some kind of sales and marketing. Okay, so this is going to help you propel your business forward. And I'm actually going to let you know that this year, together with Jeffrey and Hong Yi, we actually work out most enterprising award for you. Okay, so what that means is, besides getting the top 3 prizes, the laptop and the awards, what have you, okay, the top 3 teams, okay, we are going to give you special guidance. So we are providing you with what we call the startup validation package. So through a month, okay, of really hands-on training, okay, we are going to help you to validate your product, your business concept, and then you will hopefully, go on to the panel for your grants for ACE or iGEM, okay, and you really take it off from here. Okay, I'm not trying to ask you, to be like Bill Gates to drop out of school to start a business. Okay, this is not what we want, in NUS. But do think about it. People do start their businesses in the last 2 years of their school. Okay, they may be NOC graduates and come back and start doing something. Okay, this is all possible. It's about partitioning your time. It's about managing your time. Okay. So let me see. Yeah, so this is what I meant. There's the startup validation package, and what we have is you get hot desking space, you get advice, you get legal accounting services. Yeah, so all this, if you want to find out more, you can come to me later during lunch. Okay, so if you want to actually just find out more, because you feel that you have an entrepreneur in yourself, and then you don't know where to start, okay, you can actually join us at the in-house events or the events at the Block 71. Block 71 is our incubator that's based out of campus. It is near the 1 North MRT. Okay, we have events throughout the year. Okay, they are like fireside chat with Brian Chesky from Airbnb and a lot of other exciting talks and programs. So just check out the website, Block 71 website or the in-house website. Okay, so if you're interested, you can also contact us directly. Okay. But last but not least, I just want to mention something. As I mentioned that our partner, PA, is here. Okay, our other corporate partner for this event is Microsoft. Okay, so we want to let you know that beyond being an entrepreneur, okay, if our partners happen to see your app that's really interesting, okay, there's a possibility of working with you and then bringing it to commercialization. Okay, what do we mean by commercialization? Okay, they could work out a distribution agreement with you. Okay, they could purchase a product. It could be a revenue share agreement. So the possibilities are limitless. Okay, so I really want you to have the objective back at the back of your mind. Think about not just completing your app and submitting it to win the prize for the top 3. Okay, think about, can you actually go beyond this competition? After this 2 months of slogging, okay, are you able to make money? Are you able to become the next Mark Zuckerberg? Yeah, all this is possible. Okay, so just to recap, okay, so if you're just going to explore your options for now, come for N-House and Block 71 events. Okay, if you are looking for entrepreneurial experience, do apply for NOC or iLead. Okay, by being top 10 teams in this competition, you get to directly go to the round 2 of the interview. So last but not least, if you are thinking of already starting a business, because now you already maybe created an app already, or you are running, you are having an idea in your mind, okay, look for me. Okay, we can always help you to go further. So last but not least, I want to leave you with this quote. There's always a saying that says, the youth is wasted on the young. Okay, but entrepreneurs will say that if you start young, you have more time to fail, and you have more time to get there. So you see Bill Gates, you see Mark Zuckerberg, they are like millionaires by the age of 30, and it's because they started young. They started as young as 15 years old. Okay, so I wish all of you a pleasant journey in developing your apps, and perhaps one day, you'll find something that you love, and then you will do it better than anyone else. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Elise. Okay, now we will have Jeffrey from Center for Instructional Technology. He will actually guide you through the details for the 2014 iCreate Mobility Challenge.
Okay, so there's a bit of change in the agenda to make it easier for everyone. So this was the original agenda. I'll switch these two around. I switch these two up, so this one goes down. So I'm going to talk to you about details. We go straight to Q&A. I have 1 hour to talk. Okay. Okay. So whatever I said here will be posted on the website tonight, latest by tonight. Okay. First things first, there's a change in scope. So all this while you've been talking about creating a mobile app to enhance a student's experience in NUS. So now we are changing it to enhance something in Singapore, whatever that thing might be. Okay. So the scope is now Singapore. Don't do something for Germany or Australia. Singapore only. Okay. Anything. Preferably something unique. Okay. Mobile. The small print is anything that runs on a mobile device. So prove to me that it can run on the tablet, on a phone, that works. Don't show it to me running on a desktop or laptop, that doesn't work. Okay? Competition rules, rule number 1, in order for you to join the competition, first you must be an NUS student. Okay, so the grey areas, if you are joining NUS in August, that works. If you are graduating this semester, that still counts. Okay. Number 2, up to 4 students in the team, no more than 4, and 1 student should not be more than 1 team. Okay. So at the end of the day, when you submit, you are supposed to submit your who is in the team as well, and we will check and make sure that you are not there. Okay. Number 2, the app must be different from whatever that's already out there in NUS, which should be straightforward because you're doing a Singapore app. Okay. It must not be recycled from past submissions, and it must not be something very similar to something in the App Store, for example. Don't go and create for me a next WhatsApp. I don't want that. Something different. Okay. This is something that is very important. Do not use anything remotely here. Don't take out the word NUS, don't take out the word here, don't take out the logo, don't do anything here. Okay? Everything that you see here should not appear in your app. in any form whatsoever, except maybe the word NUS, but not in blue color. Okay? Are we very clear on this point? Because we have problems with legal with this. Okay, so do not ever copy anything that you see here. Okay, in terms of timeline, today's the kickoff. You have from now till all the way July the 5th to create whatever you want to do. Okay, on the 6th you have to submit the app. Then you have about 2 weeks or so to prepare your presentation. On the 24th and 25th is the judging. So on the 6th, when you submit the app, you also ask you to select a slot for your judging. So judging time slots are first come, first served. Okay, so it's like booking for stuff lah. If you take too long, you don't get it. Then along the judging, there will be SMS voting, and they will showcase on the 6th of August. Any concerns for the timeline? You have about 1 month plus to do something. Okay, yes.
Let's say on like those important milestones, right?
Mm.
We are like overseas or the in Singapore, like everyone is it okay to have like not the whole team present?
This one, okay.
The judging day.
Okay, submit app. As long as one you submit, I don't care who submit. Judging day, I don't. As long as someone comes to present, that works. Say for showcase, as someone comes to present, that works. Okay, but I don't want it to be the case that you register a group of 4, but actually it's only 1 person doing the work. All right. Yeah. So actually the dates are here to recap. So you have 1 month to do something. Actually, you have 2 months to do something. You submit. About 3 weeks to prepare a presentation, then after that the voting comes in. Okay, training. This time now we have quite a fair bit of training for free in a sense. These are for dummies, so if you know how to write Hello World, don't bother to come. Okay? So we start with iOS for dummies on the 24th of May, which is a Saturday, next Saturday for now. Okay? Yep. Yeah, like Xcode lah. Okay, yes, ours is Xcode. This is what, Oliver? HTML5 using what? Okay, he said be a notepad. Android will be Eclipse. Okay? So the training venue is here for all 3. Right here. Okay? On the 30th of May, there's a break in between for lunch. You please go to NG Canteen for lunch. We are not providing lunch. Okay? Okay, available resources. We have the IVR API if you want. I don't want to use that, but if you want, you can use. We have localization information, so you can achieve actually indoor localization, so you can figure out exactly where you are in the NUS building. Okay? We have mobile notification for one of our sport partners. So you can just send SMS or notification through your programs. Of course, the standard one like data.gov, Facebook, all this is available for you to use. In terms of source control, there is, we have made available for you a private GitHub so that you can keep your source control there. We have Windows Azure for you if you want to run. Otherwise, you can sign up AWS, which is free for 1 year. Okay, caveat to that is that you need a credit card. So of software, DreamSpark is available for you, Xcode and Eclipse. Those in green, you have to contact somebody to get it. And the details will be on the website. Okay? Those that's not in green, you have to DIY. So at AWS, you go to Amazon website, you sign for a credit card, you get 1 year free. If you want Windows Azure, you email to somebody will give you the details. Okay? These are just suggested resources. You can use whatever you want. You don't need to necessarily use all of this or any of this. Okay. Yep.
And we also have the navigation indoor, outdoor buses, all these under the...
Buses also?
All is in there. It's under NUS navigation that we built this suite of APIs. Yeah, it'll be updated. It's fresh from the oven last week.
Okay. Presentation schedule is on the 24th and 25th of July. Like I mentioned, I just need at least one person. If all of you happen to be overseas, that is fine. We can do video conferencing. Just make sure that your internet there is of fairly decent speed. Okay? You have 30 minutes to sell your idea and app to the judges. The proposed timeline is you spend about 20 minutes to pitch your idea, pitch your app, 5 minutes to demo, and another 5 minutes for Q&A. So there will be prompters at the back of the room to prompt you on the 25th minute and on the 29th minute. Main thing to note is that on the 30th minute, we will stop you, meaning you're done on the 30th. Anything after that, we tell the judges to ignore. Okay? In terms of showcase, so you have seen David's photos. So that's one store. This is the overall looking at it. We will at least give you one electrical point, one exam chair, and one exam table. So exam table is about 60 cm or so minimum. If we can, depending on how many people there are, we might give you 2, which gives you a bit more space. So you can set up however you want. You can print anything you want. You can bring anything you want. Okay. Location to be confirmed. I have not confirmed the location yet. So this is where you sell not just your app, but also yourself. Okay? Not in the physical sense lah. Yeah. So I mean, you're selling your talent, getting them to hire you. So we actually have seen quite a few cases where the students were picked up by potential employees that that want to hire them. Okay. So this is kind of a reward for you guys for the 1 month of hard work you have done, where you can sell your app, you can sell that you can do all this, you're capable. Somebody should hire you, and you can skip the whole interview process. Okay, judging criteria. I'm going to spend a bit longer on this. Okay, so the criteria for this year is still the same as last year and the past few years. We start originality. How original is the idea? So like I said, creating a new Facebook is not original. Creating a Facebook for Singapore is not original. Okay? Give me something new. Exactly what is new, I leave that to you because my here is dry already. Platform. So we don't restrict you on the platform. You can use any device you want. You can use all the devices if you want to. I don't care. Okay? We'll mark you on how well you use the functionality. So I use the camera. If some of you who have camera register, and use that barcode thing, that counts also. Okay, so how much of the platform's feature are you using? UX is user experience. How user-friendly is the app? Like Mr. Ravi said, his kid 5 years old also can play Flappy Bird. Can you do something like that? If you can have an app that a 5-year-old can use, that pretty much is very user-friendly. Okay, so that encompasses your app per se, how you pitch your app, how good your product is. The next thing we want you to do is to go and talk to your peers to get them to buy into your idea, to your app. That's where SMS voting comes in. So we will then test you on how good you can sell your product to fellow peers. This will be in 25th July to somewhere in August. You're allowed to use any medium you want, any channel you want, but you're not allowed to play cheat by using those SMS gateways and pumping funny numbers inside there. Okay, so the number must be a valid Singapore number belonging to someone from M1 Singtel or StarHub. It can be postpaid, prepaid, doesn't matter, but it must belong to these 3 telcos. Any numbers not belong to these 3 telcos, we will reject. Okay, there is a chance that you can get your mother, grandmother, grandfather, and so on to vote. Okay, we won't know because we don't know their numbers. So what we do is we will base it off your registered mobile number. So every student is supposed to register their mobile number in the student system. If the number is there, we'll give the number higher points versus a number that we don't know. Okay, so it could be that a NUS student that comes in and vote can give you 5 points. Your mother comes in and vote gives you 1 point. Okay. Okay, then showcase is showcase is the one that's 10%. So that's where you sell to investors. So these investors can come from anywhere. They are not students, right? They are pretty much working adults. Can be from NUS, can be from outside. Majority of them will be from outside. So at the end of the day, each of these people will have a vote for you. In a sense, it's your last chance to get the last 10%. Because if it's a close fight, this 10% makes a lot of difference. Okay, Enterprise is coming with a most enterprising award as well. So the judging criteria for that is that they'll mark you based on two things: the market size and feasibility. So how big a reach can your app go? So since the scope now is Singapore-wide, at least we should see something that can affect most of Singapore. The feasibility is how feasible is the business plan? Whether is it sustainable? Can it run for quite a while and so on? Okay. Yep, that's about it. Any questions that you have? Yep.
You mentioned that it has been targeted to more of Singapore. So if initially you want to target to just NUS,
Can.
also can.
And this is in Singapore, ma?
So, as in, just specify any target group as long as it's Singapore.
You can say I want to target all the males in Singapore, all the females in Singapore, that's fine. As long as there's a Singapore target inside there somewhere, that's fine. If somehow your app affects the whole world, that's okay because Singapore is part of the whole world. Okay? Yeah. As long as somehow you can link it back to Singapore, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay? Yes.
To win the competition, does the app needs to be published on the App Store?
You don't need to publish. Okay, publishing or not is up to you. There's no requirement to publish.
Because we will be using web services which are free, deploy into the cloud, which are free. So we can't publish it there.
I mean, we'll have to pay to use those web services.
You have to pay to use what, sorry?
Actually, we have already made an app, okay. And it uses free web services. So if we need to publish it on the App Store,
then you have to pay, yes.
yeah.
Then you don't publish it. You just show, I mean, you have just show it running on the emulator on the laptop, that's fine. Yeah.
So it's not mandatory to publish the app on the App Store.
No. If you want to, so be it. If you don't want to, I'm not forcing you to. As long as you can show me running on a mobile device of some sort, that works. The emulator counts as a mobile device. Yeah. Yes.
You put publish and say, no, who's going to test it too?
Yep.
Excellent.
What if you don't have a Mac? And you want to do an iOS app? Yeah, you answer your own question. I'm not sure if we can broadcast. We can probably share the notes with you if you want. Yeah. I'll see if I can find some Mac desktops to plant here or something. I don't guarantee that will happen. Yeah. But again, it's a first come first serve, so they might be limited.
And for iOS, right? Let's say iOS, if you want to post it to iOS device.
Send me your UUID or whatever the funny ID thing is. I'll give you something to dump it in. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody by any chance interested in doing Windows Phone? iOS? How many of you want to do iOS? Or planning to do iOS? How many of you are planning to do Android? Okay. So iOS using. Okay. How many of you own an iOS device? Oh, only you three. Okay. Wait, if you don't own an iOS device, how are you going to troubleshoot the iOS app? Okay, wait. So let me just make it clear. I guess some of you do not know. In order to program an iPhone app, you need a Mac device, and in order to test it, you need a Mac, what do you call that? iPad or iPhone. So if you don't have any of these, don't bother doing iOS because it doesn't work anywhere else. Okay, Android development you can do it on both Mac and Windows, so that's fine. HTML5 both Mac and Windows work. So only iOS requires a full stack of Mac. And we are not going to give you anything for any device, any MacBook, any Mac devices just for you to program. We expect you to go and find it.
Excuse me, even the iOS devices, because somebody just mentioned that there are a few iOS devices which will be made available to the students. Somebody?
No, I said I will put some. I might try to find some Mac, what do you call that? Mac Pro. Mac Pro to put here for the training session. That's it. Only for the training, not for you to play around with. Okay. Yeah. Because I firmly believe if you want to do iOS app, you jolly well make the investment to go and buy one. Yeah, and it's freaking expensive, yes. Yeah. Yes.
More details on the onboard and the ownership of the code. Meaning, if I go for iCreate, do we need to give the app in CIP for publishing, or we can still keep the app?
Wow, finally, okay. Okay, so that's a great. Okay, so essentially what happens is this: when you go for iCreate, you submit app. You are supposed to update your source code to some place. Okay, so what the competition organizers own will be your source code. You are free to take your source code and use somewhere else if you want to. That's fine. But we hold ownership of source code. We can do what we want with the source code, including deploying that into the App Store if we wanted to. But typically, we will not do that without you, because you are the brains behind the app. If we deploy that without you, we won't even know what's inside there anyway.
Okay, so what will happen that if we want to publish it?
Go ahead.
We will need to go through.
No.
The owners of our app.
Yes. We just own that code that you submitted at the point in time. Then what we do with that code is up to is our discretion. You are free to use your code and your idea and go and do whatever you want. That's what happened to iPhone. Yeah.
In the case of, let's say, we want to commercialize.
Go ahead. I have some that already did that already. Yeah. You can commercialize. You can do whatever you want with the code. That's up to you. Yeah. Okay. With regards to that point, just remember this thing about the do's and don'ts. Okay, because if you publish the app on your own with anything here, okay, anything here, NUS legal might come back to you and ask you to remove the app. All right. So the logo, nothing in your logo should contain anything here, including the color blue and the color orange, which is not here. Okay, the orange color is there. Yeah. Okay. Then you can safely do whatever you want with the app. Otherwise, we might come after you. But of course, if we take the app and we can do whatever we want, including putting this color there. Any other questions? Okay, those guys should be setting up food, I think. How long? Okay. Sure, no questions. There's one question I was expecting you all to ask, but you haven't asked yet.
How about the other part, the award part?
Finally, okay. So you all will do for free, right?
No.
So in the whole slide, in everything that is published up to now, there's nothing about prizes. And apparently you all are free labor. Okay, so what happens is the prizes was be different this time now. So all this while we've been giving you iPads and toys to play with. We choose the toys, you just play with the toy. So I'm going to turn it around this year. So you guys have received the email to join the Facebook group. So one of the things that's going to appear tonight is choose your toy. Of course, there'll be options there. You can type your own options. But yeah, you can choose your first prize toy, second prize toy, third prize toy. All right. So the most popular toy will be the first prize. Second popular will be second prize. Third popular will be third prize. Okay. So you can spend now till tonight to think about it, and the whole weekend to figure which toy you want. All right. If not,
Okay, thanks, Jeffrey. Okay, we have come to the end of this session. This session is recorded. You'll be uploaded on NUS YouTube, so you all can always go back and if you have any queries. Okay, we have catered lunch. It's outside, so now it's time for lunch. If you have any more questions, feel free to chat with the speakers, find out more from the speakers during lunch. Okay, thank you.